Woody Harrelson is one of the most recent people to slam vaccine mandates and protocols in Hollywood, but Tim Robbins has also done so as well. If you guys remember a while ago, Tim Robbins went on Russell Brand and talked about it in length. His I liked a lot because Woody Harrelson's kind of always been anarchist-ish, and
what does that even mean when he says
he's
it?
like
he smokes weed.
He smokes weed. Yeah, he's a libertarian. He's kind of a libertarian.
You smoke weed,
right?
and you're kind of a wild card.
Right.
Yeah, so he's kind of always been that way. But when Tim Robbins talked about it, he talked about it from the perspective of like a typical liberal who had his eyes open to it. But it's like now I just saw a post that I think Chris Bertman posted something about California opening up after like literally 3 years. Like he's like, RIP California's 2 weeks to slow the spread. Like whatever month 2001 or 2020 to 2023.
Congrats or sorry that happened.
Yeah. So
Woody Harrelson did this New York Times interview late last week where he went more in depth on the vaccine question. And the masks, and
he was probably smoking weed while he did it.
Yeah,
That's why.
Probably like
he's so
on that Joe Rogan strain. He said, "I don't think that anybody should have the right to demand that you're forced to do the testing, forced to wear the mask, or forced to get vaccinated 3 years on. I'm just like, let's be done with this nonsense. It's not fair to the crews." This is the part that I really liked. He is speaking out for the crews when the rest of Hollywood, especially people at the Met Gala, including AOC, would rather, sit by while the service class is wearing masks and they are free of the requirement.
It's such an awful visual. It's been going on for so long. As a film critic, I get access to all the publicity stills. A movie comes out, you get like 10 to 12 pictures from the set. And often it's about 9 or 10 of the movie. Yeah. But then 1 or 2, it's the director working with the cast.
They're always going like this.
Yeah, doing that. Yeah.
It's always this pose, like this.
And
it's very epic.
Yes.
It's this. They got the mask on all the time.
And there's like this weird lighting because it's always with a flash. Mm-hmm. And so like the actor without the mask is in frame and they're lit well. And then the dreads of the industry are behind them. They're like dark and there's the mask on. And it's just
them and the extras. They're just kicking them around.
Yep.
He also said, I don't have to wear the mask. Why should they? Why should they have to be vaccinated? How's that not up to the individual? I shouldn't be talking about this. Beep. It makes me angry for the crew, the anarchist part of me. I don't feel that we should have forced testing, forced masking, forced vaccination. That's not a free country.
I love how he talks about it like Hollywood likes individuals.
Hollywood free country.
Hollywood hates individuals and freedom. So it's one of the things I love about watching anything in Hollywood where they promote the idea of freedom in the project. I was recently, I rewatched V for Vendetta fairly recently, and I have a V for Vendetta poster in my room, and it says "Freedom Forever" on the poster, and I just laughed at like whoever the graphic designer was in Hollywood, who was like probably giggling when he made this, like, we don't actually believe in this, like that's not a real thing here. Also, I remember when IRL had Greg Ellis on a couple.
It wasn't that long ago. It was like a month ago. Maybe.
No, it was a couple of months ago. It was like 5 or 6 months ago now. It was a while ago. It was before winter. It was before winter.
Okay.
And he talked about how like the COVID has become like a second income stream. Like it's just become a business model in Hollywood. All of the testing, a lot of people are making a lot of money off of it. So it's very hard to walk away from something that makes you a ton of money and gives you a ton of power. The amount of people they've been able to box out of the industry. I know Matthew Marsden just posted a tweet recently talking about how he lost work because like they said,
he's not vaccinated.
He's not vaccinated. Yeah. So it's like, they love it because it allows them to control. It's a weird soft communism in a way. Like it is.
It's also
a caste system.
Not just if you're not vaccinated, but if you refuse to disclose whether or not you are because it's none of their business.
And I think there's a whole healthy undercurrent of fake vaccination cards that people are doing in Hollywood
especially,
as well.
That would
in Hollywood.
See, somebody should make a movie about that. About the guy who developed the fake vaccine cards and sold them to actors. They love satire.
Yeah.
You can't be the one who develops it because it's so easy to fake. I don't know why they made it so easy to fake.
Here you go, Mr. Clooney. Here's yours. I made it extra special.
But they could make a movie movie about this. Like Hollywood is bad at it now.
The
but
Bubble
they love,
was good.
They love. I thought I was the only one who liked The Bubble. Like as the.
I didn't think it was some kind of masterpiece. I just thought it was a pointed criticism of Hollywood on Hollywood.
I didn't see it. Pretty rough reviews, so I kind of steered clear.
I enjoyed the them satirizing themselves a little bit. In general, Hollywood isn't good at that anymore. Like they don't do self-satire very well, but they do it a lot.
It's acknowledging that the stars were exempt from following the same regulations that the crew was following.
And they kind of, that movie does a lot of the same type of satire and character work that like a Ryan Johnson film has in Knives Out, where they're just horrible people.
Yeah.
Like they're just horrible people, right? All the actors are bad people.
I just think if it's been long enough that you've made a movie about COVID, you should probably relax the protocols.
Hulu made a documentary about Astroworld like a week after Astroworld happened. Like they don't care.
They
like
went into turbo drive.
Yeah. Well, they love it. Like any tragedy, they're like, let's get this made.
Or it was planned and they already had it in production.
That somebody can make a movie about that. It's about like a guy who's like setting up tragedy so he can make like this guy's documentaries come out a suspiciously quick amount of time.
X-Files theme.
Well, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
We're very close to that right now. We're gonna hear it shortly. Do you like the X-Files?
I never watched it. And, it's funny.
No?
My dad, God rest his soul, hated TV. He was of the age, well, movies are movies and TV is junk. That was the one show he watched.
Really?
Yeah.
It's funny too because that was a lot of people don't understand, especially if they're younger now, don't understand that there used to be a very big cultural divide between movies and television.
Oh,
television was considered second class, and
But
it
now
wasn't.
TV takes itself so seriously.
I mean, because they get film level actors now.
Yeah.
Back in the day, it was a
And
big
money.
deal when a film level actor did tell. Like one of the reasons it's not even that long ago that people made such a big deal about True Detective is because it had Matthew McConaughey and Woody Harrelson.
Kevin Spacey took a huge risk. You want to do Netflix, House of Cards? Like, I got 2 Oscars here.
Yeah.
He did it and changed everything, really.
Yep, and it's so funny because I love those first seasons of House of Cards. And
He did other things that changed everything.
He did, unfortunately.
What happened to him, right?
It could have been worse. Harvey Weinstein could have produced it. Like it could have been a little bit worse.
Kind of.
But I love those first seasons of House of Cards. I do have I love listening to people argue about his accent on that. Like one of my guilty pleasures is going to like clips and people like his accent's great, and somebody else like you've obviously never lived here. It's like it's a weird thing. Like I like the idea that there's people out there that are arguing about Kevin Spacey but not arguing about the other stuff. Like there's somebody who's like maybe he did that, maybe he didn't. What I really want to talk about is whether or not he actually got his accent down.
Yeah.
But also, Tim Robbins has basically affirmed. He says that Woody Harrelson is right, and
Time
I like
to end this charade at SAG-AFTRA. Like Fran Drescher is reading this tweet in bed, and she's like, never mind.
You have to do that in the nanny voice. I can't even do the Fran Drescher voice,
It's
but
too distinct.
It's very distinct.
Well, here's the problem. Like, kudos for Tim Robbins. He did this months ago. He first came out. Fran Drescher as well. Woody, I think he's really speaking common sense. A, where were they? And B, where is everyone else? They are really providing cover for everyone else to say, okay, that's it. Go flood Twitter with all your virtue signaling. It actually could make a difference. It actually could change things. Where is everyone else? I think they're still desperately scared.
I give the ones who speak out the earliest a little bit of leeway.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Because it's like, look, a lot of people aren't getting information in the same place. Here it is. No!
Oh no, the volume's down.
I did check. It's that quote. It's literally that quote from his Saturday Night Live. And there's the scream from the Trump inauguration at the end there. But it's like a lot of those actors, like, look, if they're not getting information from the same source as anyone else, right? You understand that they're going to come to those conclusions later. A lot of people just have to go by what they see. What you see is what you get, and eventually it comes true.
This reply said, I'll do my best to not support anything that includes either one of you. You both should do some campaigning for Trump in 2024.
Really?
Trump is like the biggest pro-vaccine person there is, too. So that's
well,
actually
only
really fun.
it's not even about the vaccines. It's just defending his own honor, having introduced them. That's what it is about, really. But
that's amazing. It's amazing.
Mostly positive reactions.
But the thing about Tim Robbins, which was so encouraging, was that he put the pieces together himself. He compared what he was reading with what he saw. He went out and talked to people on the left and the right. He understood what was going on both in England and America, and just crunched the numbers.
It's like converting on your woke deathbed,
But
like
it's very
just in time.
It's very like how about this though? A lot of people, like, he's an actor, he's got a lot, he's made a lot of money, he's got his studio. I know his acting studio at the time was shut down because of regulations. He had the time to do the research and look into this. The average person just does it. Like, they're working 10 hours a day. They got a family. Like, a lot of people, like, in the media does this on purpose, wants it to be muddled and hard for you to get the information. Therefore it's harder for you to come to the proper conclusion.
And because he had a studio and had a company, he had an extra, there was more stakes for him.
Yeah, there's incentive there.
John Lovitz from Saturday Night Live, he became more right-leaning in recent years, in part because he was running a comedy club, and he kind of got the business acumen down and realized what forces were out there. So that changes you.
Remember when Tom Cruise yelled at everyone for not wearing masks on the set of Mission Impossible?
I'm sorry. Someone in the chat, I just can't get this out of my head. They say you look like Ricky Gervais and Tom Cruise mixed together.
I've heard that over the
And
years.
I do see it.
You heard both of those?
And my kids say I look like Mr. Bean, which I think is a horrible thing to say.
I was
to a
going to
father.
say Tom Cruise, but I didn't want to see.
It's there. The resemblance is
Same
there
Tom.
for sure.
Hold the Tom Cruise up. I want to say, like, there's a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little bit of it there.
I'm gonna
I like
right
that.
there.
Well, when are you gonna light it?
Well, I don't want to use it. I want to save it.
You have to
forever.
save it,
I want to say, like,
when Mission Impossible comes out.
maybe like when we review Mission Impossible,
There'll be a
Fallout,
weird ritual.
like, I think we're getting into creepy territory out there.
Or when it wins Best Picture, Top Gun.
Yes,
As if.
as if he should have. Like, look, I'm the world's big. I get called a Scientology apologist for being a fan of Tom Cruise here.
It's hard because I think when you look at his personal life, is he a great dad? I don't know. Some headlines are a little suspicious for sure. Does he have a consistent love life? It seems a little bit out of control. I don't jump on couches. He does.
Yeah, that was like.
But he's a movie star.
That was like
Yeah.
15 years
Yeah.
ago now. That
But
was
he's a
long
movie
time
star.
ago. That was like they're allowed to be weird every
Yeah.
once in a while.
It seems like it was planned anyway.
I just wrote a piece for thehill.com, which hopefully will run soon, about Tom Cruise, about how he's actually showing Hollywood, hey, this is what you do as a movie star. You're positive, you're uplifting, you're apolitical, you're just brimming with gratitude to your fans, and maybe you'll kind of coax some people back to theaters.
It's possible. I mean, like, that's like, him putting out the message before Top Gun Maverick about how he's like, my point is always, I'm like, look, does he mean any of this? I don't know.
I don't
but
care.
I'm happy to be lied to.
Yes.
Like, a little bit more about Top Gun Maverick, and like, even with all of our praise for it, I do think it was tamed a little bit compared to the first one.
Well, because they didn't mention Russia or any country.
Well, yes, but it was also
whatsoever.
like very syrupy, sweet, like very sentimental, very like heartstrings.
Well, I think that actually follows naturally because the character that is being portrayed as the lead is a lot older and is in the twilight of his career. So it fits for the movie to be that theme rather than at the beginning of his career when he's a hotshot.
And also the sex scene between him and Kelly McGillis was pretty steamy, I remember.
Yeah, which they added. Like, that wasn't originally in the...
Oh, really?
Yeah, they added that. Like, that was a big deal. And then the one they did for the new one is they did it right. It's non-existent. They just
Which is what we love.
They cut right by it. But I'm saying that it wouldn't have made sense. It makes sense in the first Top Gun because he's young, he's a hotshot. It's all about like this. The romance in that one is a little bit different.
Yeah,
this is a very different thing. It wouldn't have fit in that movie.
I agree.
So.
By the way, Hollywood is woke and they're very feminist and they care about people. And then, Kelly McGillis, she kind of got old. We can't have her in there.
We'll take what's
Jennifer
her name?
Connelly.
Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah.
She's still hot.
She's only 15 years younger, so we're good.
Kelly McGillis is in her 60s. She's 60.
Yeah.
She's about
63,
60.
64, I think.
So she was older than Tom Cruise when that got made.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're never willing to admit that they're actually shallow.
Well, look, Jennifer Beals
they're
is
so
like 60 and she looks like Jennifer Beals is 60 years old and she was in Mandalorian. She was in one of the Star Wars. She looks fantastic for her age.
I mean, there
Michelle
are certain
Pfeiffer
actors
looked
who have
really
aged
good in
really.
Quantumania.
Absolutely.
Like, some of them just age. And look, would they want to admit it or not, it's a visual business and it's their job to look good on camera. Tom Cruise had an article in like Men's Health in the 90s where he said the best thing you can do as an actor is like stay in good shape because first of all, because you're in a front facing position. It's your job to look good
Yeah.
on camera. It's not just models that need to look good, but also because it's good for your mental health, and it will allow you to be better at auditioning, be able to handle if you're in good shape, right? You'll handle the rejection of not getting the role better if you're actually confident in the
Unless
way
you're
you
on
look.
roids,
Yeah.
then you'll roid rage, and no one wants that.
There's a great line in the honest trailer for Ghostbusters where they show, it's like a shot of all the actors. It's like, this is what movie stars look like in the 80s, and it's like Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray, who are just flubs of just
But I
nothingness.
see a lot of people point out examples. They're like, this is what was comically fat in the 80s, and it's just an average
person
guy
Yeah.
who's like not ripped.
Well, and that's the thing, like Hollywood now, like if you look at it, whether they want him in it or not, like unless it's like the dad character on a sitcom, the guys are in good shape.
Yeah.
They are. They're like I will be forever like surprised, like when I'm watching an episode of a show and a character's like shirt comes off, I'm like, that guy's in real, like he's like old. How is that guy still in such good shape? They have to stay in good shape. It's just part of their industry. So, but Tom Cruise, it's just funny because what you're pointing out is like he's pointing out things that everyone understands would work, but Hollywood just won't accept it. Like, be gracious towards your audience. Don't tell them how to live their lives, and say like, look, in a time of heavy inflation and like uncertainty with your money, the fact that you will put any of it towards us is an honor to us.
It's exactly what he's saying. And then when Sally Field won a Lifetime Achievement Award recently, she said, well, I didn't really work hard because I'm white, and people in the crowd who are of color, they worked
All
much
of
harder.
your struggles were so much greater than mine.
I like
as
how
a white girl from Pasadena
With a pug nose.
with a pug
I
nose.
like how she says that, like you know, if Willow Smith is in that audience, was her life growing up that much?
It was brutal.
She's saying that to an industry full of nepo babies, like of
Zoe Kravitz is in the audience.
like, yeah, my life was very difficult being the daughter of Lenny Kravitz and what's her name, and John Benet. What's her
Lisa
name?
Bonet.
Lisa
Okay.
Bonet. John Benet Ramsey?
No.
No, different Benet.
Wow.
Not that one.
Very
But I'm saying, like, the point is, like, it's an industry full of people that use their positions to get their kids in. So
They
eventually,
fail upwards.
It's condescending, though.
in
to
20
just assume
years,
that a person in the crowd who might be of color has had this struggle. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't.
Well, they
maybe
didn't find it condescending. They were like, yes, yes, Sally Field.
so
it was
self-aware.
so hard. We're growing up on this side of Carlsbad. It's very, very
we love your
difficult.
white self-awareness.
They're just like, my house in Calabasas was much smaller than your house in Calabasas. How did I make it through it? I only had one butler, said Marlon Wayans' kids. Like, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't seen it yet, but Marlon Wayans has a new comedy special. I think it's on HBO Max, and it's a lot about the slap from all different sides. I think he knows all the players there too. So I want to check it out.
That's a family. Like, you know what I loved? I loved the 2019 Lethal Weapon TV show that nobody liked but me with Damon Wayans.
I've heard good things about
It's
that.
the first season is great. The wife, the one who's married to Damon Wayans' character to Murtaugh in the show, she's great in season 1. She has kind of an abrupt, almost feminist kind of like in season 2, she's getting mad about things that she wouldn't have gotten mad about in season 1. But Clayne Crawford in that show is just incredible. Like that show is amazing. So, and considering who the original actors were in Lethal Weapon,
big shoes.
to not make it, like, I'm a big fan of the underdog TV show based on movies that do well. I love the Limitless TV show that no one likes but me as well. Based on, you know, granted the Limitless movies didn't get a ton of sequels like Lethal Weapon did. But I like it when you can take an idea like that and it actually ends up succeeding, because the best who do that understand that it can't be an exact replica of the movie because the format is different. It has to be produced in a different way. So you have to rely on different aspects. Like in Lethal Weapon, the movie, you know, being a short form hour and a half, I don't remember if the movies were like an hour and a half, 2 hours long. When you have to make a show over a full season, they make it about Riggs's wife was killed in the show. And that's a through line that follows throughout the whole show. And that's important, but that's harder to do in a movie when it's a shoot 'em up buddy cop movie. There's a little bit more, there's actually more emotional baggage there than there would be in the movie version of it, because the movie's supposed to lean harder into the comedy.
And they're making a new Lethal Weapon with the old crew.
Yep.
Danny Glover's got to be up there. I don't know how old he is.
He
and
is.
Both those guys are, you know.
Talk about a political dude. I was like looking, he is like borderline
Socialist.
social. Yeah, like I was like,
I don't think there's a border there.
I was gonna say borderline communist, but like I was like, but I love Angels in the outfield. So like I don't really, you know, he'll always
good on
be
screen.
He's a great actor. So that's fine.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.